Good afternoon. My name is Paul Holdengraber, and I'm the Director of Public Programs here at the New York Public Library. As you've heard me say many times, my goal here at the library is simply to make the lions roar. It's been quite a day of intelligence and a lot to chew on. I'm not going to say very much more than to welcome everybody to the final session and to encourage you all to use this library, to become members of the New York Public Library, to find out about the live programming we do here, to come to our last event with Nick Kristof on November the 30th. We finish on a note. Our last conversation will be on Darfur, to come and hear Umberto Eco, to come and hear Peter Nadash and Cees Notenboom. And now, without further ado, I'd like to bring to the stage the man who made today possible, Andras Tsanto.
This is the third time I have to say it was not me, it's the wonderful talent in the room and the wonderful audience who's making this possible, and of course the New York Public Library for providing this extraordinary, truly extraordinary setting. We have now entered our third panel in this day-long extravaganza devoted to words, texts, messages, politics, propaganda, and as I said earlier this morning, what better location, what more apt and symbolic location in which to have this discussion than this magnificent hall in this extraordinary public library, a great institution of this city and this country. I welcome you back to the third panel of There You Go Again, Orwell Comes to America. For some of you, these remarks are repetitive, but many of you, again, are joining us anew for this panel. And of course, we have a worldwide audience on the web, on the internet, and through significant media coverage. How could we not have major media coverage when we are here this afternoon, especially talking about the media? Little background. As I mentioned, this is a conference that came about and is one of the first steps in a series of initiatives spearheaded by 5 journalism schools, some of the top journalism schools in this country, that are concerned about the state of our public discourse, our public life, and that have come together in various ways to do something about things. And today's panel in particular is about that. These the three schools that have been most closely involved in today's events are the journalism schools at Columbia University, UC Berkeley, and the Annenberg School at the University of Southern California, which is responsible for today's panel and whose new dean, Ernest Wilson, will be moderating today. And he tells me that whereas the first panel was about history and the second panel was about analytics and many other things as well, this is about action. Before we go on, this is my last time to sort of say things at length. I will be back for questions from the audience, but I do want to acknowledge our funder, the Open Society Institute, and their extraordinary staff for helping to make this event possible, and the many other staff members who have been acknowledged earlier today for working day and night to be here. But I also, now that we have 2 panels over, would like to give a hand to our technical staff, because those of you who have been here today know that this has really been an extraordinary conference, bringing together technology and everything else. Thank you. And I should say that their skills will be tested in this last panel as well. And one more opportunity for me to proudly remark that today also marks the publication of a new book, a new anthology of essays tied in theme and content to this conference. It's titled What Orwell Didn't Know, Propaganda in the New Face of American Politics. I'm pleased to say that our first batch sold out, but after this panel there will be more. Please buy it and read it. Let me remind you also that on your chair you have these comment cards. The system seems to work quite well, so please fill out your questions and comments and send them up. There will be people circulating in the room later on. and I will endeavor to share some of these questions with the panel toward the end of this session. And we will go roughly to about 5:45 this evening. The point of connection or separation between politics and propaganda is the press. So it is indeed apt to conclude today's series of discussions with a close look at what journalists might do and do better when it comes to empowering citizens in the face of manipulative, misleading rhetoric. Our moderator will be Ernest Wilson, who just recently took up his post at the helm of the Annenberg School for Communication. His predecessor, Jeff Cowan, who's also actively involved in this initiative. His essay is in the book. And to introduce Ernest, and to give you a little bit of an overview of what you're about to see, which is quite remarkable, I will now give you Joshua Fouts, who is an expert and who's on the faculty of the school. He's an expert on technology innovation, international relations, and the media, and currently runs the Annenberg School's Center on Public Diplomacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Andras, and my compliments again to this amazing gathering. It's a real pleasure to be a part of it. My job is actually to get off stage as quickly as possible and to introduce you to the most exciting part of this panel, which I think is very exciting. Andras, as you mentioned, I direct the Center on Public Diplomacy at the University of Southern California's Annenberg School, and one of our lead projects is exploring how the 3D immersive web can serve as a venue for intercultural dialogue. And one of the places we're exploring this is, thanks to a generous grant from the MacArthur Foundation this summer, is through the virtual world of Second Life. One of the things that Orwell didn't predict, of the many, many things he did, well, let me back up by saying one of the things that Orwell did successfully predict was voyeurism. But one of the things he didn't imagine was the truly immersive nature that the 3D internet and the 3D web have really done to enhance that. And it's really provided us an opportunity. As a colleague and collaborator of mine, Rita J. King, who works with us on the MacArthur Foundation, likes to say, these mediums provide us with an opportunity to learn how to learn to think versus what to think. And I think that's a key element to think about. And as we explore what to think, we're actually going to get to meet our new dean, Ernie Wilson, through the virtual world of Second Life. And so I bring you his initial greeting from the virtual world of Second Life. So if the technical wizards can connect us with Dean Wilson, we can listen to him or see him shortly.
Ladies, gentlemen, and avatars, I bring you greetings from virtual reality. As we consider the legacy and lessons of George Orwell, this is a space that even he could not envision. Second Life is a virtual world made possible by the latest developments in communication technology. In many ways, Second Life and other virtual worlds represent the evolution of the media into a truly interactive and international form of communication. These new virtual worlds, blogs, and other online media can empower messages and actions from the bottom up, from the outside in, and across global boundaries. To give you a better sense of the potential of this new medium, I have invited Professor Aaron Delwich from San Antonio's Trinity University, who himself is a noted expert on virtual worlds, to take us on a brief tour of Second Life. Now, as you take this tour, please reflect on how our new media environment may empower new visions, new voices, and new ideas to build a more progressive political landscape. After that, I'll join you on stage in the real world, and we'll begin the discussion with our terrific group of experts and innovators. See you in a moment.
Thank you, Dean Wilson. Orwell's future was steeped in broadcast monologue, a stifling of the individual imagination. However, in our version of the future, each of us has more opportunity than ever to vocalize. What did Orwell get wrong? Certainly, he did not anticipate virtual worlds, online social networking, and the World Wide Web. But in other ways, his vision remains compelling. The metaverse is as expansive as the human imagination. Its current instantiation takes the form of virtual worlds and other mediated online environments that are accessed